could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Sunset Rants, where we catch you up with the breaking news headlines and rants, get you caught up at sunset. I'm AK, your favorite guy, and tonight, on Friday Eve, was there a Republican Psyop that was just played against the Senate? And Peanut the Squirrel-style operation deployed in Tennessee, and Putin shows off some shiny new toys. But first, the sassy, cynical Latina has entered the room. D, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I'm really glad to be here today.
What's going on? You are back for another Thursday edition. Oh man, how you doing today? That's a nice little hat you got there.
Yes, I'm sporting my MAGA hat, and I thought I could wear it.
There you go. I like it a lot. All right. Well, you can find me on X at @TheRealRoma_AK. You can find D at Cynical Latina. Also, we have a Discord that is open to the public, who we're currently looking for 3 individuals to host the Roma Nation and Sunset Rants shows. So I kind of want to go a little bit off course here. So just so everybody understands, what I'm looking for, or for people to basically to volunteer to be on, kind of like you, D, because things are starting to blow up here. And once they do, I'll be looking to sign people onto the Roman Nation network. And when that happens, the sky is the limit for you. So, that's definitely something that we've been trying to do. And tell us about how, like, for you, since jumping onto the team, like, how's everything been?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really good experience. And everything is, what's important to me is that everything is very clear and transparent. Mm-hmm. I have a perfect idea of what I'm supposed to do and when I'm supposed to do it. And there's tools along the way to help me get there, which I really appreciated, because I had tried a venture like this before and it was just...
We won't talk about Sal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So this has been a really good experience, just because like I said, it's very transparent. It's legit. It's a good experience. Everybody's really fun, and I really enjoy being able to come on the show, which is why I've done it already a few times. Even though I really wanted to stay incognito behind the scenes, like hide behind my Twitter profile pic and be like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, stay anonymous in the shadows. But I do enjoy this. This is really cool.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Roma. It's a really good
No,
experience. Thank you,
I-
Roma.
Absolutely. So if you want to find us, we do have a website, where Sunset Rants is part of the Rise of Middle America Network, where you can see our most recent content, news, rants, and deep dives, along with up-and-coming events that you don't want to miss. So if you want more breaking news stories and on-the-ground coverage of events happening here in America, we have a link at the bottom of the page where you can make a monetary contribution to help create content for all of our viewers, and the link is in the description below. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and help us push this post-cancel culture society to the next level, because we are there. We are there, and we are pushing it all the way through. Absolutely. All right. So let's start off with a little-known story of a guy named Matt Gaetz, who's no longer there.
You done disappeared.
Yep, this is the political map. Matt Gaetz was in the AG spot, but he's no longer there. So let's kind of try and figure out why, shall we? So this is from Colin Rugg. It says, breaking, Matt Gaetz withdraws himself from being Trump's attorney general pick. Says his confirmation is becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump transition. This is directly from Matt Gaetz. He says, I had an excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate the thoughtful feedback and the incredible support from so many. While the momentum was strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of Trump-Vance transition. There was no time to waste on needless, protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think is going on here?
I think it was a perfect way to show who the rhinos were going to be, who were going to, throw bricks in the road, show the heads bobbing in the swamp, So I think it was
the rhino hose. Who made that word? Remember that?
Go.
The rhino hose.
Rhino hose. We're gonna make that a thing. I think it was a really good way to show, who was going to be a deterrent, and be able to single them out so that when we actually get an AG in, it's going to be easier facilitated, and the people behind it could reach out to our senators and reach out to our Congress people and let them know that this is who we want to be appointed. So hopefully it was a good and smart tactical maneuver.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And more and more it's looking like it was planned. It was planned on purpose, and that's the reason why, they put certain people in certain spots. I mean, RFK Jr., everybody's been after him, the left, the right, he doesn't care,
Yeah.
But definitely looks like they had got some tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah. I mean, it's refreshing, to be honest with you. The Republican Party hasn't seemed to have much fire behind it for a while. I think it's kind of pissed off a lot of people that they just won't do anything. And now it looks like they're kind of moving towards actually doing something.
Exactly. Which, by the way, it happened really quick, almost in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Boom. This is from the Trump War Room. President Donald J. Trump announces nomination of Pam Bondi as Attorney General. I saw this and I was like, wait, what? Because she does not play any games at all.
No.
All right. I live most of my life in the state of Florida. And so I pay attention to politics down there. This is a badass pick.
Yeah. I was looking into her a little bit, and I mean, just the fact that she has 20 years experience, as a prosecutor. And, she is the first female attorney general for Florida. I mean, you know, the left always likes praising those things like, oh, the first female, blah, blah, blah. This should be a great pick. This should be somebody that should be easily put into this position with all the accomplishments that she's had under her belt. So I think she's going to be a great and excellent choice. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope she's tough on all these criminals.
Absolutely.
I think, yes.
Yeah, and it says even here at the bottom, far too long partisan Department of Justice have been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore. Pam will refocus DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Make America safe again.
It's an amazing pick. And I can't wait to see what she's got in store for our DOJ, because she's going to come in, she's going to ruffle a lot of feathers.
Yes, I think so too. I was really excited to read about her because I was just like, wow, this is going to be someone that's going to go in and make a difference, and that's what we need, you know. So yeah, I'm super excited about her.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the Communist News Network. Linda McMahon, Trump's education pick, was sued for allegedly enabling sexual abuse of children. Do you notice a pattern here?
Of course, there's a pattern. It's always some kind of sexual allegation or something that has to pop up after a very long period of time, and it's exhausting.
Exactly. So, again, this is also from the Communist News Network. Police report reveals new details from sexual assault allegation against Trump's defense secretary nominee. Do you guys think we're that dumb? Do you really think we're that stupid? Come on now. Like, this playbook has been played and played and played for like 50 years. Knock the crap off. This is not going to work. It's clear that every single one of these people are vetted. They are vetted and vetted and vetted 15 times over to get into the positions they were already in. And now they're going into a more prominent role. Of course, if this came up, you would have talked about it then, not now. So stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. Like with the McMahon, it's a 30-plus-year-old allegation, you know, and a lot of it is hearsay. How do you prove something that happened 30 years ago? There's going to be no kind of physical evidence. There's going to be nothing but hearsay to back up any of these claims, and it's wrong. And with Pete Hegseth, that happened 7 years ago. You know, it was settled. There was an undisclosed amount that was paid to the supposed victim of, you know, which she happily took money and signed a confidentiality clause. So,
and those are not worth the paper they wipe their ass with. Like,
no, but I mean, my biggest gripe is, you know, if you really experience this like super traumatizing, horrible experience, you get a fat paycheck and you're just like, okay, I'll forget about it. Bye. Oh yeah, I'll sign all your paperwork. Bye.
Yeah, because they sign the paperwork and then they run out of money.
Yes, and then they pop up and just surprise. You know, I want more money. So, you know, it was a police report confirmed that all the allegations were false. No charges were filed, and then all of a sudden it rears its ugly head again because they want more money, you know. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes, that's our key word for our YouTube users. But you know what? I know a way that we can fix this. Mr. President, please, for love of God, make Mike Davis your AG.
Yeah.
Where you at, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't want to do it, but man, that is pick something else. Come on, at least go do some real journalism, some real work before you start coming up with this crap. All right.
I think
Moving.
Mike Davis would be scarier to the left than Matt Tate.
Oh, I
lot.
would be here for it with the popcorn, with the candy bars. I will be sitting in my chair for 4 years going, ha!
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like it.
let's go ahead and get off of this because Netflix is getting sued. That's right. And this is from MSN.com. Baddest streaming on the planet. Florida man sues Netflix over Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. All right. Florida man is suing Netflix over streaming issues during the fight between boxing legend Mike Tyson and former YouTube star Jake Paul. The class action lawsuit was filed in Hillsborough County, of course it was, on Monday by a man named Ronald Blue Denton, who was alleged breach of contract and accusing Netflix of deception, saying users face unwatchable live stream on November 15th. So the fight was rigged, so they had to do something.
Yeah. I mean, for
Allegedly. Go ahead.
Watching it, and it just kept freezing and freezing and freezing with all the critical moments. Like, I got to see Jake Paul walk out, and then as soon as Mike Tyson came out, it was like it froze all the way to the point where he was in the ring, and then the quality was reduced significantly. And I think it was, because there was so many people on it, it didn't seem that they actually had tested it prior to launching their first ever live event, which just seems seems really stupid, And so if they get sued and there's a class action settlement, I want my $10, hell yeah.
Right. It'll give me half a month's worth of worth of Netflix that I have.
It's like half my monthly payment, or like half a sandwich, or $10 is better than no dollars. I'm down. But yeah, that fight was.
That's hilarious. But I mean, the memes after that were hilarious. Like, there was one a couple of weeks ago, the quarterback from Washington threw like a 75-yard Hail Mary to win the game, and it showed that exact play all the way until the ball got into the receiver's hands, and it stopped with the circle, and it said Netflix has encountered an error.
Oh my.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. But
they should be memed, they should be memed into oblivion, just because, I mean, we do pay so much money, and the price just keeps, every time I open Netflix, it's like they're charging more money. And then now they're wanting ads, they want to put this, they want to charge more for that. And it's just, they've got to be able to give you superior service and content, and they don't. So yeah, I want my $10.
Yeah, they had way better service 20 years ago when it first,
did.
Remember when it came? I remember when Netflix came out on Xbox, and I was like, "Yeah, put that on my credit card, even though I'm poor." All right.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, let's move on. So if you didn't hate, state governments enough, we got another story that, I mean, it doesn't rival Peanut the Squirrel, but it's just as absurd. And this is out in Tennessee. I just want you to listen to this story, and we're going to play most of it, and then we're going to comment afterwards. So let's take a look.
Welcome to the Lookout Mountain Winery, perched above Nickajack Lake, just outside of Chattanooga.
And where are you guys from?
Chuck Bordonia loves to say his family's DNA is in this business. He poured all the concrete. The wine comes from his grandfather's recipes. The pizza comes from his grandmother's recipes. The view comes from, well, a higher power. This is about as family a business as you get.
It is.
Which leads us to the day the Tennessee Alcohol and Beverage Commission sent in an agent and a minor on a sting operation to try to get Lookout Mountain Winery to sell alcohol to a minor.
We're about to show you exactly what happened that day. And you're wondering, well, how do you know?
Well,
How do you think this went down?
Bad.
We're about to find out.
Yeah.
A lot of times in a court case, you have two versions of the story, right? You have the ABC's version of what happened. You have the Bordonia's version of what happened. Not in this case. Both sides agreed in court that what you're about to see, is exactly what happened that day. So you can see and judge it for yourself. An ABC agent walks in and asks about red wine. A teenager is standing behind her. He never speaks.
And I told her total, how much it was, and she agreed to it. So I went over to the bookcase to grab the bottle, which is right here. That's our Italian trio. Then I walked back to the other side of the counter to grab a bag. This is where we sealed our wines. I put her in the bag for her. Then I went back to my register to get her tickets. And at that moment, when I turn around, she's on the phone, pretending to be talking on the phone. So I put the wine and her receipt.
You can tell that guy is pissed. He's
and
like,
at that moment, I found $40 sitting on the counter. I grabbed the money, went back to my register, and grabbed a 50 cents that's supposed to be her change. I turned around. The young man overreached, so I put the 50 cents on his hand. In the meantime, the phone rang, so I turned my back to answer the phone. I didn't see them when they were leaving.
Minutes later, another ABC agent walks into Lookout Winery and hands the Bordonias a $5,000 citation for selling wine to a minor, even though the minor had no interaction with Mrs. Bordonia. Mrs. Bordonia couldn't believe it. What customer?
what? Are you kidding me? Like, this is like, if you don't hate, like, these are the types of tactics, the reason why people hate law enforcement. Though, it's some of the tactics. Well, most of the tactics, I would at least think, allegedly. But this family, this is entrapment.
Yeah.
Like it looks like entrapment, sounds like entrapment. It's clear that there was no communication.
No.
Like if I walk into a liquor store with my son and I come up and I say, hey, I'm going to get so-and-so, I grab them, and then I hand my son the money and say, hey, you want to be a good sport? Hand her the money. We're not selling him alcohol. Duh. We know that. We know that it's going for me and for my consumption and not for his.
Yeah.
He just wants to play adult. That's it. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that playing adult's going to give you a $5,000 fine, you know where I'm going to tell you to put that, right?
Yeah, that was really, really, really dirty. And I had an incident that happened to me kind of like that, where I was at a Walmart and I bought some beer or something. And when I went to pay, that the self-checkouts, you need to get one of the associates to come and enter your ID and whatnot. And my kid, I knew that your kids aren't supposed to touch the alcohol, like put it on the bell or nothing. But they come and tell me, I need both of your IDs. And I'm like, what? My daughter was like 15. I was like, what? And yeah, this guy was serious. At first I thought he was joking, but no, he was serious. And I was like, this is like absolutely, like my kid isn't like gonna drink the alcohol or touch the alcohol or anything. I'm buying it. Like, here's my ID. Dude, my kid has like their high school ID at home somewhere, like what? And you're not gonna let me buy it? Because what? So I definitely feel like this was set up. It was a setup to someone had a vendetta or a grudge against this family, and it's really ridiculous.
View. They want that land, like in North
course.
Carolina. They're like, this is ours now.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. Yeah, and ABC should be sued to oblivion for doing that to them. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, this story gets better. Why don't we take a look?
Or she didn't even know what he looked like.
I can even tell you because I never looked in his face. He had the hat. He has actually glasses, and we never talked. So I didn't even have to look at him. It was a conversation between me and her.
Co-owner and husband Chuck Bordonia.
Meanwhile, no conversation. Kid never drank it, never asked for the booze, which is what the state statute says it has to happen.
The Bordonians were so mad about the citation, they told the agent, "We're taking you to court."
So then he has the sheer audacity to say, they don't understand why I'm mad. Is it because I'm Italian? My grandfather was born 1894, fought in World War I. I thought this prejudice went out way back then. I was brought up by people that you don't let anybody push you around, and you don't let an entity push you around.
The Bordonians not only took the ABC to court, they won.
What?
The judge called it a ruse, quote, designed to trick, mislead, encourage, or confuse the employee. The judge said the ABC actually violated the law with this tactic. Yet the Bordonians' big win is expensive. They spent $40,000 out of retirement accounts fighting the government and are still waiting to see if the ABC will have to pay them back.
Money, time, stress, your daily life, and you build up this business every day, hard work. And for somebody to come in and for like less than 5 minutes writing a report against you and destroying your life, that's not fair.
So what?
Wow.
You know what this is a job for? This is a job for the Department of Government Efficiency.
There you go, guys.
Oh, let's go. Oh, man. That is absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. And, I mean, we've had similar stories and similar issues with, like DUI checkpoints and, marijuana stores and things like that, where, a crime wasn't committed. They just waltz in as if and just make something up on the spot and go back and raid you or drag you out at gunpoint. Is why do that? Because now all you're doing is creating more distrust for the government than there already is, if that's even possible. But it's a bogus sting operation.
It's an abuse of power, and it just leads you to really question that whole, do they really have quotas that they have to meet? Because I mean, why would they be doing these shady things if they didn't have like a quota to meet?
Not saying anything, but
allegedly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not going to show this for too long because I don't want people blowing up my DMs. But here's another one. The DEC delays decision on gun charge against Peanut the squirrel's owner. DEC investigators seized a short-barreled AR-15 from the residence of Chemung County man whose pet squirrel was euthanized, triggering widespread threats against the agency. No shit.
Leave the man alone.
Yeah,
He's already been through enough.
Exactly. And it's almost like they had to find something, because if they didn't, that's what they always do. They get you on something that's not even, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. And then they go snooping around like, oh, what else can I find? What's this over here?
I mean, they had to look like they were in there for something. They were doing something to justify what they did. That's what they're looking for, that justification. But I mean, it doesn't matter how or what they find. It just keeps getting worse and worse, and they keep looking even worse and worse. So they need to calm down already.
Mm-hmm. They do. Well,
they do.
Speaking of the police and court systems and whatnot, this story is from Sky News. Arrest warrants issued for Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Secretary Gallant and senior Hamas commander over alleged war crimes. Uh-oh. What is going on over here? That's what I want to know. It says here, arrest warrants have been issued for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Secretary Yoav Gallant and a senior Hamas commander by the International Criminal Court. The warrants against senior Israeli figures are for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity related to the war in Gaza that Israel launched following the October 7th attacks by Hamas. So the ICC is basically the principal's office of courts. It's just, unless you actually go into one of those countries. Now, Israel definitely didn't start it, but the response was overwhelmingly bad because they weren't just going at. I mean, okay, I got to be careful what I say here. I believe that they did go after the Hamas leaders, but possibly through other human beings, and sometimes they weren't even there. I don't know. That's I'm not reporting it. I'm just saying this is what it seems, at least through the grapevine, is what happened over there. And it was an unjustly response that got them in trouble for this. So I don't know if you know anything about what's been going on there over the last year, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I followed it a little bit, and I feel that Israel had a really strong response and has gone and done a lot in order to deter Hamas, which I'm like, dude, yeah, get them, But I feel that the argument is that they're going in too strong. Which I don't know. My personal opinion is if that happened in my country, I'd go in strong.
Right.
I can't really blame them for that. And there's always going to be casualties in war. War isn't a beautiful thing. There's nothing nice about war. And so I just don't feel that. We can really call them war crimes at this point. We don't really know much because I feel that Hamas uses a lot of civilians. They don't have uniforms. It's kind of hard to distinguish who's who. So if they end up just blowing people up, like what happened with the pagers, I don't feel bad for any of them. That's just me.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. is not a part of the ICC.
No.
But Netanyahu could basically be arrested if he sets foot in any ICC member country. So that's, NATO countries, that's South America.
Yeah.
That's some African countries. This is he's basically limited where he can go, and of course you were talking about how somebody did that to your country. You'd feel the same way. You'd want to go and use force, like Bush did.
Yeah.
The ICC went after him too. How well did that work for Bush?
Yeah.
He's sitting on some island somewhere sipping martinis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my producer says his ranch outside of Waco.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, probably.
Which I'm pretty sure is heavily guarded.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and switch gears to another war. And that is the AP. Putin says Russia attacked Ukraine with new missile that he claims the West can't stop. Nah. What do you think this new missile is?
It's something a lot more powerful. I'm not great with specific names. I know that it's called the Oreshnik missile, and it looks catastrophic. It looks scary.
Well, let's find out.
Wow.
Do you see how there's multiple? The way that it lands almost like the ones that you're not supposed to use.
Yeah.
Like the cluster. Allegedly.
Scattered.
Yeah. So they actually had a couple of views on the way that these looked. Here, let's try this one, because this one's a little bit closer. You can kind of get an idea.
Wow.
So essentially, they're like ICBMs with that basically split. They could split and then hit multiple targets at once. like very precisely. So I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do here. Let's just go over the story real quick and see what Mr. Vladimir Putin has to say. All right, so the Kremlin fired new intermediate-range ballistic missile at Ukraine on Thursday in response to Kyiv's use this week of American-British missiles capable of striking deeper into Russia, President Vladimir Putin said. In a televised address to the country, the Russian president warned that U.S. air defense systems would be powerless to stop the new missile, which he said flies at 10 times the speed of sound, and which he called the Oreshnik, Russian for hazelnut tree.
Well,
really, Putin? That's the best you can come up with? All right, let's move on. He also said it could be used to attack a Ukrainian ally whose missiles are used to attack Russia. That's the most important part, because now not only can you not hit them, but you can not hit them and they hit you at the same time.
Yeah. And who's a Ukrainian ally at this point? I don't know.
Hi, NATO.
See
what I did there? Aha.
Yeah.
Pentagon duty press secretary Sabrina Singh confirmed that Russia's missile was a new experimental type with intermediate range missile based on its RS-26 Rubis intercontinental ballistic missile.
that thing.
Yeah, and the thing is that they could put conventional warheads on this thing.
Yeah.
Almost the same way. But I'm sorry. Nuclear. So the same missiles can be nuke armed and are usually aimed at us, the U.S. Because I think what Putin's trying to do is he's trying to display strength, but at the same time psych out his enemies.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing, essentially. What do you think?
Well, especially now that, Biden approved for U.S. What was it, long-range missiles to be fired at Russia. I mean,
that's right, Biden.
Are we the allies? Like, hey, that's not very comforting, for us normies to see these bombs exploding and seeing, the damage that they're doing and be like, are we the allies too? Like, we don't have nothing to do with that old. We don't have anything to do with Biden's decisions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
A withering.
Yeah, we apologize for any anything that Biden has done in the last 8 years.
We're so sorry. He's a withering corn husk. Like, we don't have anything to do with him. Don't blow us up.
Exactly. Well, I can tell you what, though, Russia's version of Raytheon was done proud today. Anyways, moving on. So, Putin reportedly open to a ceasefire talks with Trump, but demands Ukraine drop NATO bid, give up land. So basically, we've gone full circle. Back to the same thing. Don't touch my land. I won't go pew-pew.
Yeah.
What is that? But, NATO is just, I don't know if their communication devices aren't working, but they don't get that Putin does not have like a Congress or a Senate or, people to hold him accountable if he decides to do what everybody thinks that he's capable of doing. Because what it looks like right now is that NATO is calling Putin's bluff, and that is the worst mistake that you could possibly do.
I think so too. I wonder why is it that NATO still hasn't accepted Ukraine into NATO? What's the holdup? Because they were so quick to want to do that before. I personally don't think Ukraine should be part of NATO, just because I feel like it has absolutely nothing to offer NATO. except for the oil reserves that are very extremely difficult to reach. I'm not super versed on this subject, but that's kind of what I've picked up on over time with what's going on with Ukraine. And
gas reserves, I think, too.
Yeah, there you go, the gas reserves.
Natural gas.
The natural gas reserves. But I mean, I just I don't feel that they really have anything else other to offer, and I feel that keeping peace with Russia would be a better idea than to try to keep peace with Ukraine. I mean, the war would have ended if we wouldn't have funded them. So,
right. And the thing is that Trump's hands are tied. His hands are tied until he gets sworn into office. If there's an office left by the time we get there, because NATO is not going to let this happen. NATO is like either Ukraine is ours, or God forbid, we're going to get destroyed. But know what? Fine. I've got the solution. The U.S. should let NATO have their war, and we can take all of our weapons that were paid for by the American taxpayer and say good luck. But it might be too late by then,
Yeah.
Biden. Anyways, if that doesn't make you want to rant, nothing will. So, what are your final thoughts on today's show?
Oh, wow. Just a lot of things happen in a very short period of time, and we just need to buckle up, because I feel like, we were all so nervous about the election, and who's going to win. We were all stressed over it and everything. And, Trump won. We're all happy. And then his cabinet picks and everything else that's going on. Yeah, the stress hasn't ended. We're still highly stressed, because this has just got us on an emotional roller coaster. We're just ready for it to be over. We're ready for him to be in the White House. January 20th can't come soon enough. And dude, I'm ready, man.
Bold Saint Nick says Ukraine had a ton of hidden U.S. money. Allegedly. Yeah.
Well, they've got the biolabs over there too. Let's not forget the biolabs,
Yes, thank you for putting that on the screen.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, to kind of cap off this show, so at first, the Trump administration hired a new Pokemon character as AG, then Netflix technical director to look for a job at McDonald's with Kamala Harris. Sting operation in Tennessee gets publicity for the wrong reasons. It looks like Netanyahu and his defense minister are canceling their vacation to Napoli after the ICC ruling. Russia looking to pin the ICB on NATO donkey, but Trump will likely intervene to spoil World War III's birthday party. Boom! I'm good. Well, anyways, D, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
And I think we're gonna see you on a couple more times.
Yes.
Yeah, going kind of finishing out the year. Next week, guys, we're actually this is our last episode until December, because it's family time. Thanksgiving is next week, and I wanted to make sure that everybody is working with me got time to sit with their families. I mean, they've been working with me on and off for months now. So I think that it's fair that I let them have their time, and then we kind of regroup the following weekend, and then on to 2025. My goodness, it's been so much fun. All right.
Yes.
So you got anything else? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, X, as Cynical Latina. I'm pretty active on there. That's my main place to contact me. I do screen my DMs. Don't send me anything weird.
You'd be surprised how many weird DMs I've gotten.
Yeah, just
be very surprised. So just don't do it.
Yeah,
right.
Don't do it. It's not.
Don't
cool.
do it. Right. Well, like I said, you can find me on X at @therealRoma_AK. Join the Discord. We're looking for like-minded individuals to join the Roma Nation Network. You can find it on our website, where at the bottom of the page you can make a monetary contribution, to help. What is it? What society? Let's see if you remember.
Me?
Yes.
I'm listening to you. I'm like, I don't know.
Totally pressed the wrong button. Post.
Okay, I'm so
Culture
confused.
Society. So right here, Rise. So the Rise of Middle America webpage. You can go in, and we've got the Rumble, we've got the YouTube, we've got the X, we've got the Discord. Discord link is fixed for now, I guess. And yeah, allegedly. And join the Discord, please, because that's where if you really want to get in contact with me, I'm on there all day, every single day. So what's graphic? Warning graphic. My producers are playing with me now. Okay, so anyways, you guys have a good night. We will see you in December. We might have a little bit of content going on next week, but we're going to pre-record it and then post it for you guys for your pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving. Have fun with your families. Good night. Good luck. And we will see you in December. Peace.
Good night.